Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please, if you'll stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we take the roll, please?
Yes. Ms. Drumheller?
Present.
Mr. Denise?
Present.
Ms. Webster?
I am here.
Ms. White?
Here.
Mr. Allen?
Present.
Mr. Morrow? Here. And we don't know about Mr. Renzi? No. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any announcements or modifications to the agenda?
Do we have to do a date change if the Creative Playground, it said April 12th, but it was the 19th. Does it matter when it's on the original for that date?
You mean in the minutes?
Yes.
Well, this is just for agenda modifications.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because it was a date change. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so if we go to the minutes from March 25th, one modification just needs to remove Mr. Renzi from the not present because he was here, so we can change that. And you want to make the modification for the Creative Playground that the groundbreaking was April 19th versus April 12th.
Should be ribbon cutting, not groundbreaking.
Pardon me?
Should be ribbon cutting, not groundbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
Groundbreaking was when they started.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, can I ask, is the 19th date correct on this agenda? Or I thought you wanted it to be the 12th?
Madam Chair,
Yes. I don't actually think we need to amend it because it was just
I
changed.
agree because in March 25th meeting, it was a,
Yeah, I actually think we need to leave it as it sits because that was the plan and the first invitation did go out with that date. So in this minutes, we'll reflect that it happened on the 19th. So does anyone have any other changes to the minutes? May I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Drumheller, did you make the motion? Who made the motion? I know he seconded.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion to approve.
And I'll second.
All right. We got through that. We have, now we have public input. Does anyone here have public input? It's on a non-agenda item. This is your time. Sir, welcome. If you just give your name and address for the recorder.
James Rocco, 2001 East Lakeview Drive, Sebastian.
Rocco, R-O-C-C-O?
Yes.
Hi, what can we
Hi.
do for you?
The parking area south of Mulligan's. I realize that the last few meetings you talked about it, and you need a permit to cut the trees down to 6 foot tall. I want to know if you applied for the permit, and if not, why not?
Would Mr. Blankenship, is that something that you could address?
Yes, ma'am. We have not applied for the permit because we really don't have any desire in removing the mangroves. Cutting them to 6 feet is not going to do anything but cut them to 6 feet. You're not going to be able to see any better.
I beg to differ, because a lot of those trees are below the sidewalk level. So if you cut them down to 6 foot, people sitting in their cars will probably be able to see above them and
Well,
look at the water.
We don't want to, we're not interested in cutting them to potentially have a better effect. Mangroves are a godsend for coastal cities.
Yes, the roots will hold the water in, and
Yeah, but the
erosion,
roots need the,
above 6 foot, they're not really doing anything other than blocking the view.
if you'd like, I can send you something from Fish and Wildlife that does a very good job of explaining mangroves and their importance and how trimming is really not healthy for them. If it was a matter of ingress and egress, that would be one thing, but a line of sight, we're just not interested in going that route.
So you're saying the trees are more important than the people of Sebastian?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Then what are you saying?
I'm saying that those trees are important. We don't have any interest in trimming them, cutting them, mitigating them. You can go a little bit further south and have a nice view. You can go a little bit further north and have a nice view. Why should those trees suffer? Because this is where humans want to be.
In the car.
And
Well,
Because if you get out of the car, you
Folks
can,
like to sit in the car and look at the water.
You can do
And
that
a
to
lot
the
of us
south.
can't get out of the cars. A lot
You
of
can do
people
that to
are
the
handicapped and
north.
so forth.
There's
Sir,
other areas you can do that.
Yeah, but you can't sit in the car and do it.
You can't.
The water is right there. And you're really saying the trees are more important than the people here? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's the word you're trying to put in my mouth. What I'm saying is we have no interest in,
Why not?
because there's no value to it, to cutting
The
those
value
trees.
is that people want to look at the water.
And I don't think public comment is a place to debate issues.
Sir,
Okay.
I do have a suggestion for you, because we've talked about this a few times
I know,
here.
yeah.
And I understand that there are places, when you park in front of Mulligan's, there's probably 4 places where you can sit in your car and actually see the river with no obstruction. And if you go on the other side of Riverview Park, on the side where you can park in the grass, you're a little further from the river, but you have absolutely full river view with the 2 piers, because you're looking right at the 2 pier area. So there are other alternatives, and the mangroves are protected. My gut feeling is that permitting, and this is something you may want to write the city council about to see if, because anything that we recommend would have to go to city council also. But you may want to send an email or go to a council meeting and see how much support you would get there. Our feeling after discussion in the committee for the last couple of meetings is we got a lot of information between natural resources and the city manager saying how difficult that would be to keep up. And the cost is almost prohibitive from the growth that it would have to, the cost, it's.
You just spent thousands and thousands of dollars on a park on Barber Street. The town has a tractor with a blade that can go right along there and trim them right down within an hour or 2. Or give me a chainsaw, I'll do it for nothing. But I'm just saying.
Please don't do that, sir. I think you get in trouble.
That trimming the trees, right?
Well, yeah, I did, but listening to the mangroves, you have to be very, very careful, because there was a place further south from here where they took them out and they got into a lot of trouble. My question is, though, if we were to even cut 6 feet off, how do you maintain, once you trim it like 6 feet down, they're going to keep growing up? Do you just...
It's not that you're cutting 6 feet off. You're cutting it to a height of 6 feet.
A height of
Right.
6 feet,
Yeah.
so then you would have to keep it maintained 6 feet.
And you can only cut them so many times. I think it's every other year you can trim, something like that.
Yeah, and 6 feet really is quite a bit up. I don't think that would help the visual. But I was going to ask you, were there any other trees in there that you guys had looked at to be able to take some of those out?
And here's the beauty of it. There are 3 different varieties of mangroves in there, plus some sea grapes. Anything that is not native or protected, like if it's a pepper tree, we take it out.
Can the sea grapes come out?
No,
No.
they're protected as well.
Okay.
Okay.
There's only 2 of those.
And
Go
it
to give
is,
it a shot, because
yeah.
and they're necessary for that river to
Right.
thrive.
especially behind the gazebo there, the trees are really high behind that.
What's more important, the environment is very important. The river's very important.
Right. Well, I'm not saying remove them, because they're still going to be 6 foot tall. Or just top off the top so you can look at the water, that's all. Thank you.
But
Well,
for-
thank you for
But you
coming.
should go and read the regulations. You would be surprised how regulated it is for the mangroves. If you can get on the Florida site.
Yeah, I believe you. people should have some.
Yeah, but that one's very
Thank you.
careful. You have to be careful.
Well, you
when
do.
We are important too, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure the
You-
mangroves are important. I'm
You
not
absolutely
saying-
are important. You are one of the 27,000 important people in our city. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming. Okay, so any other public input? Anybody on Zoom?
Nobody's raised their hand.
Thank you so much. Unfinished business, the creative playground. Mr. Blankenship.
I just wanted to keep that on the agenda, so we, thank you for those that were able to make it on Friday. It was a fantastic event. I didn't count the numbers, but there had to be 150, 200 kids and
There was
parents
no
there.
school that day. That was
Right.
brilliant, whoever did that. That was brilliant.
Well, it wasn't me. It was somebody that's smarter than me. But it turned out very well. The park is getting the use that it should get. Yes, ma'am?
In the back of the playground, which would be Tulip, where the back fence is, there's no opening back in there, is there? To get in?
There is a gate, but we don't open it. You have to come through the parking lot area.
Okay, because isn't there new sod back there now?
Yes, ma'am.
And people do park on it when they're going to the other.
Yeah, when we have, well, maybe not so much right now, but when football season comes around, there may be some, but by then it'll be matured and
You'll have
hopefully
some
won't-
roots.
Yeah, and won't do as,
It was a really nice event.
It was.
It was fun to see everybody there and the kids and adults, and so you guys did a good job. Kudos to the parks.
well, again, Antoine,
Yeah.
he bird dogged this project and it showed. We came in on time, no issues.
I think Antoine needs a real shout out because I bicycle and walk that area all the time, and I think he's there every single day. And I really think it's because he wanted to be the first down the slide, frankly. And I know he did that. I heard through the grapevine that he already did that before the opening. But it was a wonderful event, and kudos to all the staff and all the contractors for making that happen on time, because that playground was missed. That's used quite a bit. Okay, so committee member park updates. Who would like to begin?
Oh, I'll go.
Go.
Because I don't have anything. I did go for a walk at the Hardy Park, and it was really, really nice, really well maintained. There's a large alligator in there.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, if you stay away from him, he'll leave you alone. I'm not walking my dog down there in the dark, but it was really nice. So that's all I have.
Mr. Denise?
I enjoy the parks immensely, and my wife and I do a lot of walking. I'm just so proud of our city. I mean, I think it's, could be on a postcard with our parks and everything. I think you have to be complimented for the upkeep and everything. And I will also say that I think you should compliment your workers there, because you go around, and my wife has said it a few times, that people, they'll stop to let you buy and go. And I mean, we have a good workforce there, and that's why the parks look so good. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morrow?
Yes, the two boat ramps are in fine shape. Pickleball continues to be very popular, as was in the front page of the newspaper yesterday, the Press Journal. And they gave some grades on all of the pickleball courts in the three-county area. And we had some good pros, but we had one con, and that was it's busy, which it continues to be.
That's kind of a pro. That's well used.
The new pickleball park.
People love
There was
it.
an article about it. Does it revolve your park? Okay. Well, why don't you do your park?
Okay. Easy Street Park. park, just used all the time. It's so nice to be able to go there and see different ages and people and dogs, and it's a nice community park. And I actually was on the old Sebastian, do you remember, Facebook page? And someone posted, and I should show it, I wish I could show it. It shows Easy Street Park Lake, and it had two kids, it was in black and white, and they're standing in the water, and in the distance you can see the island, and it had like 2 trees on it. And then people commented about, we used to swim there, I remember that. Yeah, it was a regular swimming place, and so it was kind of fun to look at that.
Geez, I had no idea.
Oh, yeah, and it had a
wouldn't
dock,
have
it had a
kids.
pier or something that they could,
Wow.
yeah, they could jump on. I don't know if they do that now, but
That's-
anyway, Easy Street Park is doing good, very good.
And Mr. Allen?
Yes. So Historic Park looks fantastic. Bryant Court, I would love to hear some updates. Do we have any news about what's happening with Bryant Court?
With the playground?
Yes.
My understanding was it was repaired.
My understanding is it's been wrapped up in anticipation of repair. Has it been repaired since the last meeting?
I believe so.
Okay.
But
I,
now they replaced the platforms, the stepping platforms and that type of thing. That was the last that I was aware that needed to be done.
okay.
But I'm pretty sure it was done.
Wasn't there a
Fantastic.
walkway, remember I said it had a bubble, and you walked it kind of,
Right, and I don't, that may have been taken out.
okay, yeah.
So Antoine said that he was going to go through it, do a full inspection, every piece through. I don't imagine a report from that is going to come across our desk, but I would love to hear a full list of updates next month or whenever possible. And the last one, so I'm on Google Maps right now. Schumann Lake Park on Kildare Drive. It's the park with 2 names. It also, on Google Maps, does not show as a green space, doesn't show as a park. I would love to have the digital presence of that park updated so that it matches in reality. So from 2 names to 1 name, and also it shows as a green space when people pop online looking for a park.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
If you go on our website, on the front, on the parks page is a beautiful, brand-new interactive map. It's got our parks, it's got county parks. So to your point, you can click on Kildare, and it'll come up and show you more accurate graphic and.
But everybody uses Google Maps. Everybody uses Google Maps. Some people go to the county website or the city website when they're looking for parks. No, you can actually go online. Somebody from the city can go online onto Google and say, I want to post a correction. And it only takes a couple of minutes to have all of that updated.
To correct the name?
Yes. The name and mark it as a park so it shows up as green. When someone pulls up just Google Maps and they're navigating to Walmart, say, it'll show as a big green space and they'll say, oh, hey, that's a new place I haven't seen before.
What is it now, black?
Now it just looks like houses. It's the same gray as everything else.
That'd be good.
And that's a very unique park in itself.
It is. I think it would really benefit from more discoverability.
Okay, my 3 parks are fine. I'm glad to report there's no problems with any of my parks. The next, does anyone have anything else under this agenda?
We don't have part in here, it says
Well, you had it up on,
committee.
yeah, announcements and agenda modifications, but go ahead. We're going to let her, she has something she'd like to speak about.
Today and those, is your mic on? Oh, sorry.
I was bike riding today, and I saw those, our old maps that are on platforms. Did anything ever happen with that, or what we're going to do with them?
I think our only option is to take them out.
That what? Just take them out?
Just to take them out. I've been told that the county put those in as part of the bike
No, we did.
program or something.
No, we
Okay.
did. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to take them out and figure out whether what we're gonna replace them with, if anything. Do you recall what was on the map? Was it
Yeah,
just?
it was a regular map, and it had the bike trails, like, 512. It had the neighborhood, like a route that you could take through neighborhoods to get to different parks. That's what was on it. Do you remember, Joanne? Yeah.
That actually came up today
Okay.
about taking care of this.
Yeah, we
Well, there's
worked on-
actually several signs even in Riverview. on
Yeah.
the
Riverview's
walkway.
got some,
That now, they're just all faded out from the sun.
Right.
The
Do-
sun and the elements are tough on those.
Do we need to just replace the map
Eventually, that's what we would do.
and
Yeah.
keep the posts up then? I mean,
We just have to, it'd be great to find the template map that was used.
you don't have that? I'll look in my folder. I might have
Oh,
one.
that would be fantastic to find that.
Yeah, I might have one.
Because I
Okay.
know there's one out west on 512 and Sebastian Boulevard. There's Barber Street, Riverview. They're all over town.
Yeah, and there was, on 512 when I was writing this morning. The other one is I went to community development because I was supposed to do, that was my homework, to find out if anything was going on with that green space there where the old motel was. So I did talk to community development today, and they did have it up for sale, but no bites on it, so it's just sitting there. And I really would like, if there was any way that we could save that space. I know it's probably a tax, if there's a business or something that's put there. It's right next to the Chamber of Commerce, that green space. If there was
So
any
it
way.
actually was the old motel site is
Right,
what you're talking
yeah.
about.
And if we could keep that as a green space and not have to decide right now, what we would like to do with that, but to hold it. And I don't know if that goes to city council,
Oh,
that
yeah.
we ask that.
I think, my recommendation is that should go to city council. That's bigger than what our park advisory committee is.
But can we
is
put
to
in a
do.
recommendation that we would
I think you should personally.
but not
talk-
as a group?
It's not really within the purview of what this committee is for.
Madam
That's-
Chair, then I had thought a year and a half or more ago that we did make a recommendation that would be a certain area. Matter of fact, I thought
they
there
are
was-
doing that.
That there's swings.
That's
and-
still happening. That's right on the riverfront. And that project, I think, has still been held up because of some permitting and some erosion. Is that
Erosion.
correct?
Well, we want to do, if I might, when we do the boat ramp, then stabilize the shoreline there and then build out, put in the swings and the benches and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where we talked about the chairs and kind of the
Right.
glider swings.
Right.
But that's right on the riverside. What she's referring to is on the other
across
side
the
of
street.
Indian River Drive where the motel was located. And
don't
that's
you-
not a park project.
Well,
Right.
but could it be a green space that we would like to have as a park, part of our park?
I agree with Ms. Drumheller. I think that
This really is not,
Yes,
that piece of property is
if it
not
went to
under our
council and
purview.
council decided to do, eventually it may come back here for some
For a
suggestions.
recommendation from us?
Yeah, for design or something like that.
Well,
But, it's
Yeah, if you
It-
want
it's
to make
outside
a
of our
recommendation
purview
for
to-
that, I would gladly second that. I thought we were on our way to that a while ago.
I mean, as a park committee, I don't know why we couldn't put a recommendation that we would like them to consider saving that space as a green area for the city of Sebastian. It doesn't, I mean, it could be named a park or it could be whatever, but I just, and that's how I feel. I hate to see it go anywhere.
Are you recommending that we make that recommendation to the city?
What? What, Joanne?
Are you going to recommend that we make that
Well-
recommendation to the city?
Well, I don't know. If you
If you
guys,
are, I will second that. I think that's a good idea.
I would also second it.
Joanne Webster?
I just thought it's kind of a random spot for,
It could be anything. It could have a few picnic tables, it could have some benches, it could be just, and I don't know if we'd even have to decide what it should be used for, but,
because I don't have any vision for that.
yeah. I just hate to see it become a commercial or a something space.
Well, I would go along with it.
So what our focus is as a committee is really to make recommendations about existing park space. And if the city council would need to first have an allocation that they're going to agree that that's the park space, so it would come, then kind of the build out and stuff would be discussion under us, is the way I understand it would be done. So from what our mission is, we can all say that we want to do this, but it's not even something that is what we should be discussing at this meeting, because that is something that the city put up for sale. And it's not, it doesn't come under our purview.
Madam
So-
Chair,
Yeah.
I respectfully disagree with that. I don't think we're that limited into what our duties are. I think that's something, I don't think it'd be unreasonable to make a recommendation to the city as far as what we think should be done with that.
Parcel.
Yes. I
Yeah.
don't think that would be unreasonable. And they have every right to turn
Mm-hmm.
around and say, we disagree with you, and this is what we're gonna do.
And they're gonna do
But
what
I think
they're
we
gonna
would
do.
be not doing our duties if we believe that,
Mm-hmm.
to not make that recommendation. So I have to respectfully disagree.
In the
Okay.
past, we've been asked to look for
Yeah, green
property.
space. Yeah, we have.
Where can we put some things? So, I mean, I don't think it can hurt to say,
So-
we'd like you to consider this.
Madam Chair, I don't know
Yes.
enough of the history of the property to guide you one way or the other. If the city put it up for sale and then the city board is recommending that the city buy it, or however it went, I mean, we have to be careful that we're
The
not
city owns it.
playing against ourselves.
What, doesn't the city already own that property?
I don't know enough about the
Yes.
property
Yes,
to
the
know.
city,
does
the
now.
city owns that property.
But I do feel like it is a little bit above our charge.
Well, we can make a
Well,
recommendation.
The committee, I think, all would like to have in the minutes that we feel that extending across the street to the property where the motel was located would also be a great green space, and for the city to just consider that.
Consider it.
Yay? Is that?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay. So would one of you like to make a motion? Excuse me.
Well, Joanne, you're.
Okay, I move that our Parks and Rec Committee would like to have the green space where the old motel was set aside as a green space for whatever future plans that we have. I'm not sure the wording. Somebody else help me with wording.
So let's make the, can I make the motion?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the motion will be to make a recommendation to city council to consider conserving the motel site on the west side of Indian River Drive as a green space and potentially utilize it for a park in the future.
And I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we got through that. So now we're at upcoming events at Riverview Park.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to keep Earth Day on there, just to recognize all the effort that went in. That was the Development Services and the Nature Board that produced that event. And I just wanted to have it on there just to recognize their efforts and what a successful event it was.
Earth Day was fabulous, and they did such a wonderful job, and I just think every year it gets better and better, and it gets more groundswell of support, so kudos to Natural Resources Committee, because they did put a bundle of work into that.
And then this Friday, we have the Arbor Day planting at Tulip Pond Park. This is the second planting. We did one back in February, I believe, January, February, and this will be the second one, and this is for Arbor Day. Then there'll be a concert in the park on Friday night, and Miss Snow is bringing her garden festival Saturday and Sunday to the park.
What's getting planted at the Tulip Pond? What are you putting in?
I'm not sure of, it's quite a bit. I'm not sure of.
Like trees? And
Trees, there's some annuals, some perennials, there's a whole
Okay.
bunch of stuff.
Don't you guys need a few ducks? We've got some to spare.
I think they fly over there, but I think they like Easy Street quite a bit. Okay, moving on to the Volunteer of the Year draft and final review, which is in your packet.
No, the
it's
the
not?
draft is not in there.
Okay.
I think at the last meeting, you pretty much, the board pretty much blessed the form. What I wanted to talk about tonight is just a little bit about the process, because I think
Yes.
we're ready to move forward. And again, this is something that I don't know enough of history about what the idea was on who the selection committee was going to be. Is it going to be the advisory board? Is it that kind of stuff? That's what I wanted to talk about tonight, so that when we do go out, when we do start advertising it, we know once the nominations come in, what we're going to do with them at that point.
So does anyone want to start the discussion? Yeah, Mr. Denise.
When I recommended this, I thought we were on the process. Yeah, I'm working.
There it is.
Is it on? Okay. I thought you should have some information on that already.
I think it should be in previous minutes when we
Right.
first brought that up, because we actually did
been a year.
a couple of meetings on process.
Okay.
I do recall one of the things that we discussed, and that Brian was part of this also, that since committee members can't discuss things outside of the committee, that a member of the committee would be assigned to help other designees, whoever those people would be, to determine who the candidate was going to be once the applications were in and filed. And then that designated committee person would report back to us on our committee. Do you all recall that? You weren't on the committee then, Mr. Allen, but do you all recall that? And it seems like that makes sense, since once the deadline is met and you have all the applications, we can't get together
Right.
outside of the public venue, nor do I think we want to discuss all the individuals, or, well, I think that should be something done outside of this meeting.
Madam Chair, I admit my memory is not what it used to be, but I also believe that the office was supposed to send something out by now to the different corporations in the city because they're making the recommendations. It wasn't going to, the person being honored wasn't going to be coming from us. Am I correct or not?
Yeah, well, the last year, since we had some time limitations and lots of changes going on, so there was an application on the website, or they could come in and get it, but there wasn't a lot of pre-publicity about it, which I think this year now we actually have a social media person that the city hired, so I think we can really get some traction on this.
Because this fall, I thought we were supposed to have that
Well,
ready
it's
to
for,
roll.
it's for, well, I think it's the 100th birthday, so it would be like December, on the December parade that it would be announced.
Well, the deadline is October 16th for
Yeah.
submittal, and then we will
Have to go through the submissions.
we'll make, the group will make the decision and announce it here at the November meeting, and then that person will be recognized at the Christmas parade.
Right. So one of the things that we talked about last time was for folks to think about if there's organizations in the community that you would want to hand carry or talk to that sometimes may be in their own little bubble and not get a chance for this. So I gave you copies of who I would like to make sure that someone personally gets to these, like the Eagles Club and the Elks and the Boys and Girls Club, Exchange Club, people that do a lot of things within our community. But I would like to see the committee help move this along a little bit too.
Well, we could each take some and put Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts on there too.
Well, this was just my list.
Yeah, and I was looking at, you've got a lot on there, and with this list, if we were all to take a couple and we have the forms.
See, I think everyone should have this list, a
Yes.
list like this. I don't think, this is a list, I'll go see all these people.
I was trying to think who else to add to this.
But we all have spheres of influence and friends and different organizations that we know contribute to the city on a volunteer basis. And so I think that's why it would be good if everyone kind of thought about who they could touch,
If we have an application.
which we will. We do.
Right,
We have
then-
one.
Then we could take them to people.
Right,
Yeah.
but to make sure we're not all going to the same
The
ones.
same
That
ones.
was what I
Well-
was saying, if we have a master list.
Correct.
Okay.
That's why I just gave you my list.
No, the master list, you're sharing yours with everybody, because you've got a lot of good ones, and we can add to it, because I don't want to go if you've already gone to that, so we can do a checkout. But I added Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts on there, and I don't know if any other groups that you think might be.
There's a lot more. I just put the real obvious ones on there. There's-
Yeah, I'm like the Little League and the football.
Right.
Yeah,
All
and
volunteers.
some of the churches that do a lot of outreaches, there's a whole bunch of places.
But I think we should have a
American
list, though,
Legion,
so we're all.
Yeah, she's got American Legion down here.
Yeah, but we should have a
So
list.
probably VFW also.
We can just maintain a list in email.
So here's the process with the Sunshine Law and email. So if we will need to email through Mr. Blankenship. So if y'all have my list, okay, and I'll email this to Mr. Blankenship also.
Okay.
And if any of you have a personal, contact on these, I don't have personal contacts on all these, I'm welcome to add or subtract. But our email list is going to have to be sent to Mr. Blankenship, who can then send it out to the committee. So we want to make sure that we use the processes that we have to use as far as talking outside of our meeting.
So if you send this list to him, he'll have it. If I have two, I'll send it to him, and then that way he has a full
Yeah,
list.
we'll keep
and
the
say,
master
oh,
list.
somebody already took that or this.
Yeah.
So, okay, we could do that. And then we should have a deadline when we need to get
Well,
these.
so if you think about October 16th is the deadline for submissions.
Okay.
Okay, so if we think about getting our applications in hand for us to hand deliver, as well as instructions for submission on the website by July, the 1st of July. If we go too far along, it's going to get lost in the shuffle. So,
I would definitely want it in the hands of folks when school starts in August.
by when?
It's August.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then that will give them 2 months to make the nomination. Then the timeline gets short, but
So, and that, you're right, that's 60 days. If we at our July Parks and Rec meeting, if we had copies available of the application, then,
you'll have them before then.
and then we could start taking them out, because our meeting's at the end of the month, so that in part would be really August, to get some submissions in.
So So there's a new social media person?
Yes.
So if this social media person could get out there and make videos and, hey, we got something new happening.
She's
and
doing all of
This is
that.
coming up,
Yeah.
you know, that would help a lot.
And also our signs, we have those signs too, front
Banners.
of here and
Oh, yes.
even,
Yeah, Riverview Park,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
for some events.
Everyone here.
you know, contact city, looking for volunteer or something.
And, yeah, and I really think that the personal touch will help, but the social media person, if you are on Facebook on the City of Sebastian site, she's posting something every single day. And did a lot of stuff about the Creative Playground, did stuff about Earth Day, and she's really out and about. So I'm sure that she will really be helpful in making this successful
This will be
venture.
our first big year to do this, so it'll be a learning curve for us too. I'm sure next year will be more changes, but, okay, so we'll be sending to your office then, names on the list that we're gonna be taking applications then out to different
And I'll keep the
groups and
master
people.
list.
Okay.
Do you want us to send the email just to you, or do you want it to Ron also?
Ron and I, yeah.
Ron Paul? Okay, yeah. So,
Ron?
Ron Paul,
Oh, okay.
because I know sometimes he sees some of those emails and collates some of that information for the city, so that would be good. Does anyone have any more to say about the volunteer? Okay, then we can go on to new business. Okay, the Park Memorial Program.
Okay, this is what is in your packet. And I'm not expecting any action tonight. I just want to get it in your hands so you can start reviewing it. It's trying to consolidate it, but also trying to expand the program. You know, consolidate the paper and the process, but expand the program to what, you know, people can do more than just a brick or a bench. So no action. I'm not asking for any action tonight. I just get it in your hands to start reviewing. And then at the next meeting, we can start making comments.
Is this on the website?
No, ma'am. This is
No,
a brand new,
this is-
brand new document.
This what?
A brand new document.
Okay, I had a couple questions.
Pardon? Yeah.
Do, like, for the Veterans Memorial or whatever, is there like a set number of, okay, we have enough benches now, we're not taking any more?
We do have an inventory of benches that we can refer to know if, like, we don't have any more space for new benches.
Right, we don't want it
But
to
we got a
be,
whole bunch of benches that have never, you know, they're there, so, you know, they're in
That
the
can have a
park,
plaque at
but they've never been dedicated to any.
okay, but we don't want it to become like a stadium where there's hundreds of benches.
No, that we can only put so, you know,
Okay.
what we can put in there.
Okay, and then for the Landscape Beautification Fund, donations, $250, is VFW and American Legion, is that something they should take on or want to take on? For the Veterans Park area around, it says color, you know, flowers and shrubs, have they been approached to maybe maintain that?
That I don't know.
Do you
We
want
just
me-
we just replanted it since I've been here.
But I'm just wondering if that would be
it
something,
may
maybe
be.
do you want me to approach them on that?
That'd be
Because I think
great.
that would be something that they probably would want to take on, and that's one less thing then that you guys have to
Yeah,
do.
that'd be
Okay.
great.
And so all these parks that are here, do you have an idea of like which parks you would like to move?
Wait, Ms. White, he gave us this to study, and we'll put it on the agenda next month. He wants everyone to review it and have the discussion next month.
Right.
I reviewed it.
But then there's another issue involved here, because item B, we start the planning for Riverview Park renovations May 14th in this room. So my point in bringing that up is, you know, Riverview Park configuration could change a little bit, so, you know, it could open up space for more memorial items. So it's going to be a fluid program. It's even though we may have an inventory of benches, that can always change.
I have questions, but but I won't be here.
So, okay, so we'll have that as an agenda item for discussion next
For
month.
the next meeting, yes. For detailed discussion.
And this is just informational about the public planning meeting?
Yes, you will all be getting an invitation, but it is the kickoff of the planning for Riverview Park. If you'll remember, we've got several grants out there right now to fund this. This will be the public process kickoff. Now the public is involved. We will have at least 2 or 3 of these public meetings, and then hopefully, maybe by the end of the summer, come out with a consensus on what type of upgrades, renovations, changes we may make at both Riverview and Twin Piers Park.
That'll be real interesting. That park is so. Just
Across the
Riverview.
street, Twin Piers.
And item C, we're changing our meeting date?
Yes, May 27th is Memorial Day, so May 20th will be our meeting date.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Does anyone have any other items that they want to put on the agenda for next meeting? And if you do think of something, you can actually send an email to you to put something on the agenda.
You can either email me or make the change at the, I'd rather we know in advance, but if it slips or whatever, you can make the addition at the approval of the agenda. But we would appreciate some ideas to go on the agenda.
Okay. All right, everybody done? No? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.